Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they're short and unboring? This is why I've invented the 5-minute meeting. Make it 10! Thank you very much. All right. Ashland City Council meeting of June 6th. You know, the mayor, what's the mayor? This looks like this. She goes, hey, we had a lightning strike last night, so be vigilant. Looking for smoke because there are no more prescribed burns. All smoke for the rest of the summer is a real fire. So call that in. And then she said, the Juneteenth proclamation, and she said, whereas, Saturday, June 17th will be the celebration for Juneteenth, and that's in Medford, actually. And then this one goes, she goes, oh, by the way, there's a June 15th, there's going to be a Juneteenth celebration at SOU. And by the way, nobody mentions that June 19th, Monday, is actual Juneteenth. And so, by the way, nobody at the city's working that day. Just FY to all your eyes. And this one goes, hey, it's National Pollinator Week. Whereas, June 19th, 25th is of this week. So recognize pollinators, which is bugs and stuff, you know. And so the bee lady showed up and said, Sunday, June 25th, there's going to be a tour of 12 Ashland pollinator gardens. And it's in the Parks and Rec book and everything. But I looked at the book and it says it's from 9 to 1. And it costs $10. So you can do that, I don't know. And then approval of minutes, the minutes are always approved. Oh, wait, what? No, he goes, wait a minute. I would like to complain about the minutes. 2 weeks ago, the minutes didn't write down my entire quote, just the first 2/3 of my quote, and then the last third of my quote made more sense, so I want all the words from my quote in there. Oh boy, are we going to put the quotes for all counselors in the minutes from now on? Oh, maybe so. And then a former counselor honored, Don Bagler. He's our 60-year volunteer Ashland City band leader, and he said it's been forever, obviously. And this might be the oldest city band in the world or the country, or at least Pacific Northwest. I'm not certain exactly what it is, but the city band director, new city band director, Christine, the trumpet. She's a trumpet. I don't know what her last name is, but she had trumpet, and she was there. And then they played Old Lang Syne for the guy, and then Don, who's the old guy, literally passed his baton to Christine. The literal passing of the baton. It was actually very nice. And then the SEEP presentation. The SEEP guy, Climate Energy Action Plan guy, okay, says students want this whole thing. They want no more gas in town. And we've had meetings, and our numbers are bad. We've got to do something. And measurements show that pollution's going up, and methane is the worst. But natural gas, that pollutes your house and gives children asthma. And we wanted to copy the city of Berkeley's gas ordinance, but that was rejected by the courts. So how about if Ashland writes their own ordinance restricting natural gas? I'm sure there'll be no problems there. And then a 10th grade kid showed up and said, oh yeah, please do this. And this guy goes, oh yeah. I know you SEEP people, y'all wanted residential gas restricted only, and now you're asking for commercial gas too. And the CPI goes, well, that's 100% backwards of what we said. And he goes, okay, end of my question then. And then the public forum, a high school kid says, please pass this. And a French guy with a backpack said, stopping gas in new residential buildings is the least you can do. And this guy, he hates the natural gas. He is stopping natural gas in new home construction isn't going to change our pollution numbers, but it is a good start. And then this one says, this can be affordable. It's at the Snowberry housing area. That's all electric now, so this could happen. And this guy is a counselor. He says, he goes, hey, I like this, but we need to look at a lot of things, because if electricity goes out, gas heat was pretty helpful. Right? So we should go slow, and maybe we should not do anything until it's perfect. But that's an idea. And this one said, blah, 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 and she does, and then said, I hope my 8-year-old isn't sitting here in 10 years from now asking us to pass this ordinance. And then city manager Joe Lessard, he looks like this. He says, he goes, hey, that was all some great instructions for me. And the mayor goes, she goes, yeah, so you this tag, you're it. So this is now Joe Lessard's problem. And then city manager report. Oh, he's back, Joe Lessard. He goes, July 3rd is the telecom update, and that meeting is going to be canceled because it's the 4th of July weekend, so I'm just telling you about a meeting that will be canceled. And then July 17th, there's this joint OSF event, and on September 22nd, the council's yearly planning workshop is going to happen. And then the city budget committee appreciation is coming up. We appreciate them. And the new city recorder tryout is coming over the next 2 weeks as we get the old one quit. And I don't know, apparently they got a new one in the wings. And then August 1st, the 5G ordinance reading is going to happen, and on July 18th there's a staffing update report, and then And then there's public forum. Oh, you guys are here just in time for the public forum discussion. All right, so a lady without a dog said, she said, people want affordable housing, so maybe we should close the golf course. And then the original 5G lady, she says, 5G will kill bees, and 5G antennas are madness, and 5G is like OxyContin. And everyone in green stand up, and they all were wearing green in the audience. They all stood up, a bunch of them stood up, and then they sat down again. Oh, very powerful. And then 5G lady in a hat, she said, oh, thanks for listening, but you accommodate big tech. And she's talking to the council right there. And she actually kept going on and on and on, which is unusual. And actually, this one was very polite and said, hey, I'm sorry, you're going to have to stop talking. And she didn't, and she just went, all right, we're moving on. So she handled that pretty well. And then the Bellevue Grange guy showed up. He goes, I want this 5G talk to end. You know, it's madness. But the Bellevue Grange is against conventional wisdom. I don't know if you knew that. And so, please, at least, get this 5G attorney a try. And then a lady in green said, electronic sensitivity is terrifying. I run the Ashland Food Angels, and I'd hate to have to move. Not threatening or anything, but threatening. And then a lady in aqua said, is our body going to burn? I don't know where that was. And then a consent agenda was all approved, commissioner's license and all that stuff. And then 10-minute break. There's a 10-minute break, so that happened. And then after the break, it starts off, this guy starts right off after the break and goes, hey, can I make a motion before we proceed? And this one says, absolutely not. No, you cannot. And then he was like, okay, that was it. That was the end of that. And then Joe Lassard says, shout out to the Citizens Budget Committee, and then exciting news, guys, everybody. This is very exciting. We got a finance director. Her name is Marion Barry. She looks a little bit like a Powerpuff Girl right there. That's cute. So she says, I present the 2023-2025 budget with a couple of changes involved in there. And then this guy's back and he's going like, hey, I move we postpone this vote to June 20th so we can have another study session, discuss specifics in this budget. And this one goes, but if we change anything in the citizens budget, we have to get the whole citizens budget committee together again. And then Marion Barry, our finance director, she goes, no, only if you increase any expense by 10%. And this guy goes, he was literally talking to this guy. He goes, I don't understand, Dylan. We had meetings. So it's rubber stamp time, Dylan. It's rubber stamp time. And this one goes, citizens in the Citizens Budget Committee brought up a bunch of policy ideas we weren't allowed to address in these times. So maybe some tweaks next week, that would be helpful. And then this guy, where's this guy? Oh, here he is. He goes, hey, what did he say? He goes, hey, we can just change things next month or the month after that. And this one goes, you know what? I would like another study session to look at the budget real quick. That'd be good. And then there was a vote to whether or not to delay the budget vote to later. And this guy, this gal over here all said, we should delay like just one more meeting, and we just have all the little chat in the study session. And then this one and this one and this one, we're like, no, it's vote right now, screw it, budget's over. So it's tie. What happens in a tie? Oh, the mayor has to break the tie. She goes, budget over, let's vote, it's done, we're done talking about the budget, I'm done. And so that did not pass. We voted on the budget, and then, so we're still like, oh man, we got to vote on the budget, but can we talk some more about it? And they kind of did. They go, blah, 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 I propose some time to look at this in July or something. I don't know. And then this guy goes, I'm confused. He says that a lot. This little guy goes, I'm confused by the timeline and blah, blah, blah. And then so July 17th and 18th, there will be a supplemental budget where counselors can submit ideas to Joe Lassard, City Manager Joe Lassard, and that will include whatever concerns this one had about some budget changes. And so that's going to happen. And so because of that, this one says, let's move, well then let's just approve this budget, right? I move the budget. It's my first budget, and city staff worked so hard. I mean, I guess I would never suggest that they change anything they did because they worked so hard. That's the end of that. And I said, I want to make a lot of changes, but I will support this for the time being. And then this one said, thanks to staff. Thanks staff. And this one says, this one goes, I'm against it. I'm not voting for this. And they voted 5-1. The budget passed. 1 no, saying no, thank you very much. And then there were 4 technical motions to receive taxes and certify revenues associated with the budget, and that was all approved. And then, oh man, I haven't said and then in a while. And then there was a full full list of all the city fees that we're going to increase. There are about 20 different fees that popped up a little bit, different increases and shit. There's a number of building fees that seem crazy high. And our new building guy, Brandon Goldman. God, I keep calling him Gibbons. Brandon Goldman, he says, I haven't done the comprehensive study, but the fees are designed to cover the costs. And this guy says, just to clarify, fee increases are designed to cover the consumer price index increases, aka inflation. So that's what most of those are targeted at. That was just a point of clarification. This one goes, blah, 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 and then she goes, pool users should pay for chlorine. All right, that's fair enough, and whatever. And then fee increases passed 5-1. She says, no, thank you very much. And then the city planning boss, Brandon Goldman again, there he is again. Oh man, there he's killing it. And he says, we applied for a grant to receive funds for temporary rehousing and shelter beds. That's the winter shelter, when it's too hot, too cold, whatever it is. And the city asked for $1.4 million in the grant money for 40 individual spots. And the city needed to and did offer $1.2 million in matching funds. And that came from the general fund and some ending fund balances, which are magical money, ending fund balances. So the county offered a $1.158 million for free for the city, and I would like to accept this money. And this is to buy a property and make a kitchen and bathrooms updated and usable. And the specific property they're going to buy, they wouldn't say. And I said, I talked to him in the lobby. I'm like, hey, what's up with that? And he goes, we're negotiating with a couple of different properties, and so if we don't tell which one we're going for, we can play them against each other, and we get a better deal. I'm like, oh, okay, that seems like good. It didn't show up in the meeting. I'm telling you guys this secret behind-the-scenes stuff. So the city, so either way, all that money must be spent by January 10th. And our housing director, and this is like our housing director wrote all this up. And a shout out to Linda Reed. Apparently, she's our housing person who did great work at it. And they were all like, "Yeah, she's awesome." And then this one says, "I moved to accept the money," and they all accepted that money. And then, okay, last one. Okay, last one. All right, so early learning opportunity. City manager Joe Lassard. You know what he looks like. There he is again. He said, we need facilities and employees and fair prices for childcare and all that stuff. And the Science Works building wants to open an early learning program. And if the city gives them $5,000 in a grant, they can qualify for more grants, and this is for 35 kids at some new early learning program. And this one is like, oh man, blah, 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 partnerships. And this one goes, can I call the question? And the mayor said again, nope, you cannot. There is no motion, you cannot. And then he goes, oh, well, you know that Paul Hyatt, she's way into this stuff. She should actually make this motion. So she goes, I move to give Science Works $5,000 to keep, I think it's to keep 2 of those trailers in the front lawn for these classes that were there for the school before. So they're getting these 2 trailers that just can stay there. So I think that's the deal. So 2 more trailers out in the front yard. Stay classy, Ashland. Front yard trailers are good. And then when I proved it, that was the best. End of meeting, you're welcome.